Abusia a 50 last year October edebeka eye February akakra ama February akwa wiye de akuafo kokko akuafo e wo Ghana ha omani atutu aka omonsemu a enya asanketua because akuafo ni bebre chiremu a from last year cocoa board eto omukoko ebepim ene de enya de a omukoko a yato no omunsa atimi aka omusika from amanfo koko ahodo bags ahodo maton e de ama cocoa board ni nyina no dodo na chiremu a omonsa enyanka omusika na omuchiremu a de ebiri omukrokura mo se last year koko a NDC amanyoku no etoye no enya de omonsa aka omusika nanso promises omo promise omo ewo 2024 elections no omo bu omani adi agu ni nyina so 7,000 something na omo promise ewo 2024 elections omo bu ni nyina so sisi de akuafo no 3,500 na omo nse kanimpo abusia sisi de ate aba beduru 2,500 poli 10 million kanetitisika ati afri so a enye asenketo a eno na akuafo ni kiremu se so omo kwa akotwa omo be ma ewo wanzam ni office dia so omo enye ntwa enya de a omo dua eka ho nti se de omo atintesu kokko pa de a kire NDC amanyuko na omo kire se na omo nim se external factors etimi affect the prices of cocoa ene ehon krone ba eba ne sen ena omo ba abanti immediately ebe make huge prices ena omo sanso aka kire NDC amanyuko ni se ene so omo nim se external factors ena ama cocoa no aba from there ba ne sen na 2020 ene 2021 2022 na amanfo bi nso kire se external factors ama economy ni mu aye dia na omo kire se omo boa enye external factors bia na no ena sansem ye ekosu abusia NDC amanyuku no supporters bi person omo try na anka omo ye damage control defend NDC amanyuku na so a backfire omo ankasa supporters ni bi aba abonten a enye nsem ketoa na omo ka de a kire sa NDC supporters Kevin Taylor one of amanfo omo try say omo be defend the government on this cocoa crisis na Kevin Taylor ensem o de beto abonten ene after that amanfo ensem a omo ka de kire no abusua enya asenketo na akwohwe Kevin Taylor said ye more times oye ni show a osibi kasa de nsasi nebo na cocoa crisis na nima ye bosa utimu se enioma enkoyie kra nti ebebo awrem ni akwakotie Kevin Ekobedu Taylor ni defend na oba ya oye Sergio Ramos adwuma e ama NDC amanyoko
cocoa ewo Ghana and story ni nyina say we are tired of waiting. Cocoa farmers protest payment delays. And to be very honest with you, this is the first time I am hearing a year cocoa in some Ghana. Some people want it to look like cocoa farmers, they have been neglected by the government. No. Make I say I buy way by power. And make I say time NDC winning power. Me time platform music I say it's about job. It's about making sure say I buy the also yeah. I buy way winning power. The first thing he told us say there were so many government agencies. Government agencies and I say I buy in Juma Bibra na eka aminium. In fact, a special example or one example pa the energy sector. Ye kai eka aban we beto ye when it comes to the energy sector. Na sebio eba inyimunkani ansema na wutimbi na msubi timbi. At a point we all experience doomsday to the fullest. And so MPP for kachire say yeni anko create a timetable na po kachire omudi atem we all lived in Ghana, we knew what was happening. The him say yenkani ansema say yentumi nya kania 12 hours scramble near the other. But at a point, there was a government that made us believe, say, even though we were going through the problem, no, there was no problem. It made it clear to Ghanaians to say, oh, my better problems, sir. They are going to try everything possible to solve the problems. And obviously, no government in the history of Ghana, Abawe Edi Abaimu 1 year, 3 months. We had a government that had been in government for 8 years that could not solve cocoa problems. And I'm not here to do the blame games thing. And that's not how I do my journalism. Say I can say cocoa time you cocoa kuafo and the consistency in the paying of cocoa kuafo. I am not the kind of journalist who does petty journalism, go and bring something and say, MPP abreso who say time we. Now, I don't have time. Right now, a NDC abreso the war. So if cocoa paid and our cocoa farmers, payment a delay, we should at least learn something from the beginning of buying Weber power. This government was straightforward with us. There are things that they came to inherit that were huge issues they had to deal with. And so far, okay, a situation as a nation, the government has done more than enough in every sector. I am not saying the government has performed better, but if you are going to look at a buying way 1 year and 2 months, and the year in different sectors of the economy, you appreciate say this government is still on that track to solve problems. And the cocoa farmers issue, it's nothing new. And I say it's not something the government is not thinking about. I cannot sit here and tell you, say, Ochanopa, Randy Abe and Cocoa Board will let 100 billion and pay every cocoa farmer. It doesn't work like that. What is happening is the government is in the process of solving problems that have been created that it will take some time. Now, if cocoa farmers omwankasa atigana ha omunim abanmu ene abanyakot na abanyabano, you can see what this government has done in these few years, in this 1 year, 3 months. Nyoma na first cocoa kuafo eto osan kedemo mu free no, and the aban the sanyo many nyama cocoa kuafo. And I'm not saying it justifies say cocoa kueni echa ni cocoa na sa osi etua ne car na say enyam by a month or two. I have to sit here and say it is normal. It is not normal, but you need to see the gesture, the abane year to meet you halfway. Aban way sebio oba aban mo no wachre say cocoa farmers enyankophobia we yi omo pahwi. The way this government in a short period, in a short time, otumi to cocoa boom, sibia in a short time, otumi ma cocoa farmers fertilizers for free, otumi mo sprayers for free, otumi mo insecticide for free. Then means na aban wo pepa or pese or de bois eyi cocoa farmers na cocoa kuafo no every problem abobo mu no enne every mu. Until you could see, say, the government from day one, no, they have always tried everything possible. Even though still no man rosary, no, Abanwe has been able to try and solve every single problem and kofu ejatu wono. When blame will be, there's never a day a matter say Ur Mahama. Na no poko ajiman. And I say any minister, ejina bejum blame the past government say and even in this moment, I will see Cocoa Board struggling, trying to raise money to pay cocoa farmers. No, I have not seen people get on the street to say, and the MPP binti aban munjano, and I will not sit here and say that. This government, so a cocoa kweni papa, and yes, uncle for way food soldiers, MPP food soldiers are a miracle. I don't video no cocoa for papa matna Ghana ye juma. Ewo cocoa fua kesiye papa. Sebio almost a buying papa. Ejumedia o dear mom from the dear Ur Mahama baye. Omuni MPP tnaye ni imbai bibre tnaye. Omunim the difference. So what the real cocoa farmers and our cocoa for papa now ewo Ghana and say they know this is a glitch. They know say these things it happens sometimes. They know say this is not something new. Ebin si Ghana cocoa sector.
Central NHIS office omatum NDC emabuna ko tum so mo bi anya adwuma ho real independence. Me no kai real independence and say aboso kan and na ye the 20% to the tax new introduction of new tax me boa 20% na ma threaten say mo go strike yes anete. And the real independence and say and there were public transport crisis in Accra and Kumasi. Nipa nya kan tiram no matimi akwa adwuma aba abedidi. That is the real independence. Me no ka say real independence and say mabuna ye adwuma 12 months Ur Mahama ansuro twedi ampon ontua won ka mo 2 months pe de aka no so mo ko babrabone ebi won nursing ebi nso wo teaching. That is the real independence. Real independence na kopem say for the first time in history the judicial service staff no almost salary arrears from January 2025 basic October Ur Mahama ntua. That is the real independence. Real independence is and the light bill you tomb historically 1 year 29%, water bill 32%. That is the real independence. Real independence is a ko kuanino and never film because of incompetence nisika yentia. That is the real independence. Won't mean to light bill on your campaign most $1 above. Yenya be no $1 above. And then say auto abro bag back won't mean to fertilizer NPK. That is the real independence. And then we are say yembisa ya say and for the first time real independence the NDC appointees President Mahama appointees are designing a receipt over ya galamsey ya Joe excavator 30,000 nyamna make a doy news expose I shock you one. That is the real independence. And now my receipt mobi koya galamsey and ko say yensuo President Mahama teso the real independence and they say Ur Mahama onwane bra President Mahama timedi ye gold there what ye is a black voter Eddie man gold on nania $7.5 billion ye di ama baako for or ye President Mahama nia or ye gonjani and so it's okay. That is the real independence. And that vaco what to say at home ama vaco workers ankasa de aye demonstration so amon penen ne amon penetra de ya Ur Mahama ne lawyer and ye vaco Panyini CEO into a more torn vaco. And that is the real independence. Sabi senya mema utumi na wa mbra ho asia. And now bet na sekase kokko kuania for the first time in many years. Wasu agunimu aye adwuma ni sika tuama no usimi ntua wa firimu otia ana mu huri tese emfa mo ho senkanya Dennis Miracles aboade ena koye sa ye friend say the purpose forum wo kokko farms mu anka mo mfre emergency meeting impo. And that galamsey marriage is an emergency. That is the real independence. Now on the substantive matter. Yes, secretary estative for people so. Yate, hey, Madam Opano Munsu. Ne here was see that can show them for me. Say, oh, you better say, oh, MPP time will be we and normal. But you ought to about improvement and I say, open a worse situation, Madam Minukasa. You want development and you want the best for yourself. Na say sabi common sensically MPP near to scan right yes enye and a Ghana for ye the eto abati omo nyansabo afo ba ya wo de akra de keke na wutu ewu padi nyina ye chebi ye chentoma ye che event say mubat ye che ice chest anwa ne ye de che ne sanso diska bitua 5,000 bitua 3,000 eni ye wie na di kosua ne moko attach it to. Now, the sabi mean that Madrinya and MPP are doing intino near Tiasica Sabi Sampo netia. 1 year Safuna Abano, 1 year in office. What near Yaskaba Bajamat Manyasika? So be a 5,000 nipa 1,300. So more number of delegates in 1,300 plus. What time Omuna? I sent a TV. Ebisu motto, 1 delegate, 1 motto. I feel the problem almost say a word no my 1 year in office as a social democrat. Ah, sister, ade. Yaka social democrat out here. Sanko fukuo no ne enim se womo no. Otimika se me se Ghana fo nyina nya adwuma me nsi fie kura nem. What you say? These are the people we're talking about. Social democrat crowd here nka wotu SUV sa wotu Land Cruiser mu anko on the bicycle no de ko adwuma mo de dabi. Social democrat mo pipes no ma numa baya te say abo afunu so ho afunu o de nam deserta wo timi me nsuo na de gu madu bebe no yi mo no and the NDC appointees na use customized cars. Social democrats even cocoa board kran ya for ran ya be mo ofa and o timi de ekuafo sika ekoto Toyota Hilux any SUVs Land Cruiser e de man ho any ne staff na cocoa kuani akogu officer nyankopon bejawo ye ka no mo hye coat awia kataban na opagya wabati on sanso mbra ne ho ase ane ya ne maame ne papa enye evane sei omundo koko na ka na brandi abe enne ka no okwa no asan de ono ani na kunya raba se ono de akotena koko bi ase na brandi abe aka de woma ende koko kuani ne sei tua meka osemi ntua na onim de mobo ntina se bibia ya to ma o masane abeto Akufo-Addo so Akufo-Addo rule my 8 years kokko akuafo anka so ye ntua musika da onko de oba ya wo se Akufo-Addo ntina ntua omuka motimanya sika and then onim say your energy crisis or Accra section of Accra say am no gase be 4 days ni e man 4 days da sum baba de man free Nigeria won say Nigeria gas no na free ba na me nimba bi onya sika no won say Nigeria for my gas motinye kukuru sika ntisa na mo de aba abeya ade no nka me de minim ni se Sabi ahombrase kwa magasa o Ghana for mon fan cheyen. Yan susu ne sa. Ni ye ne antwa yie. Muhu ye mbobo madam. Sabi obia tse asem ye na koma beden. Ebeba fon kakra. But you are sitting here seeking to justify this level of incompetence and criminality because as a public servant like Baba Jama. And ni yakofa Brian Champon, a businessman who has established himself obia himself, sabi ebro was sikache Baba Jama 2 million times. Obia himself was sikache Baba Jama 2 million times. But wako forward no na Baba Jama na anu ya koya ambassador. Watimi yenye sika. Mame, what the calculation be a pampacho? Say 5,000 times 1,300 people. Are saying? Or since you are bold, ebe jina TV and you say, oh, so we are give away a gift kakram dia momo. What the yasa wan admit it? Say arrogance asasha uma mure film ho. Say mure film ho ma anya mo na mre mo mati anamusu. Say Ghana for mo me kwan ye be ni ye no. Enne wa honhon wa didi amen. Wa betena say watch a boss a Rolex as any boy and yasam ketwa. And two feet say when you're using or say, one say a yasino. Send it and send young Chenny ye. Why fast to me no? It's about time that we respected this day event that go for Motuaba. And the Baba Jama chess ask Mammy Boamie. A pomono. A young mom was got to a banyami aduma, a day better. Obenya TV, the Amobiana. Obenya ice chest. Now, me pardon, I say. Pardon ye party bia Ur Mahama say okochama schools no bi anje ena omo dia begu go mu fie no master teacher this anu me dem nti bi kwa abakwasem pardon ye de che wo ye delegate no age pardon ye wa wasem o unim de wom montime nso na neatima cha pardon what is wrong with you people ye be kanso a mo mbre mo ho ase enne ni pa di amia en kwadai ko school wotea legon ya to your friend say hostels accommodation ya tum by 40%. Nipa nya sika ntua omra ho ase yenya bie ya no $1 abafom. Madam kwa sama haya na kototo mako any event say koto jene koto he neto event say onion neto tomatoes ni na ya say oh inflation abafom ni na ya say still president Mahama Ghana for don nti ye ma na kwanya chesa mon trefo masina sesa yesika dia hye bottom na nkasa bi kurani o hye dan mutimi nya sika etua 3,000 cedis per head. Hey! Kurani ankramo so mo kwa me Muslim. Ya tse on se wan pia nkobi wan na meche ono. That is the principle of Islam. Ye mo bi kwa argue so on che no kwa nye de enfrim. But the NDC and power